In this video, I'm going to be looking at Acustica Audio's White2 PEQ 2.0 Mastering Equalizer plugin. Pitched as a mastering-grade boutique hardware sampling, this is Acustica Audio's first endorsed plugin, meaning the manufacturer of the hardware gave it their blessing. The idea behind this device is that it is a mastering quality solid-state Pultec style equalizer, meaning that the transient response of material is better preserved than a tube-based equalizer, and the controls are stepped. Some other cool features of this plugin that a regular Pultec EQ doesn't have is that you can cut and boost at different frequencies, and there is a mid-side matrix, also known as summon difference processing, is available, so frequency adjustments can be concentrated in specific areas of the stereo field. Of course, you don't have to use it just for mastering. It can sound good on a variety of sources. In this video review, I'll be testing it out on a bunch of different individual tracks. White2 is also the first Acustica Audio product to feature Ultra Sync technology, which minimizes sample interpolation errors. In layman terms, all of the in-between bandwidth and gain settings sound a lot closer to analog hardware without errors. This plugin is available on audio units, VST, and AAX platforms. Both 32-bit and 64-bit operating systems are supported, although 64-bit is highly recommended. The current price of White2 is approximately $160. So, enough talk, let's listen to what this thing can do. So, here I have a mix down and the plugin I've had up on screen for a while. First of all, it is a beautiful looking plugin. It's nice and large. It's easy to see all the numbers. Great job, Acustica Audio. Your GUIs are beautiful, I must say. And let's see, so I'm just going to delete this plugin because I actually have the one that I've already set up prior to this video recording, where basically I'm just doing one thing, and that is boosting the high end. I have the control link set to on, and the regular left and right matrix are set up, not the mid side, so both sides are getting an 8 kilohertz boost. So let's listen to what this sounds like before and after, with ozone just being used to boost the gain. So here's before. So it's actually a little bit louder than I wish it would be because it's set up for this whole chain, not for not having another plugin. So let's just add white onto the equation and listen to what that does. Pretty good. Let's listen to a part where the distorted guitar comes in. Alright, well, because I don't have the other plugins on, it's not sounding like I normally hear it. Actually, I adjusted this, so I'm going to undo that. I think I adjusted that because once I put the Lime bus compressor on, it does take away from some of the high end, so I'm actually going to put that back on. I believe it was on 8. There we go, I just undid it. Alright, so I'm going to add this on. I'm just using trimmer to dial down the gain so that it goes into this plugin, Lime. And then we also have this on. And finally, a tape plugin from Slate Digital. Alright, so let's listen to the whole chain now. Truth be told, for this song, I like it without the bus compressor. I really do. You know, maybe because I'm just looking for more of a modern rock sound, but yeah. It reduces the volume though when I disable those. But I guess it does make it a little bit thicker. I don't know. I really don't know at this point. Okay. On to our individual tracks. I'm going to start off with this 96 kilohertz project. And more than likely, it's going to make the audio glitch because the screen capture is recording at 44.1 kilohertz and it doesn't sample rate convert very well. Nothing I could do about it, but just so you guys know, there will be clicks and pops. If it's too much, I'm just going to go on to the next sample. But I wanted to use this plugin in real time so you guys can hear what it can do. So first of all, I'm going to mess with an acoustic guitar. And we'll start with the knobs. And 4. Let's do 4. And make it less broad. Oops, I should enable it first. Alright. The reason I think it's important to show you guys these 96 kilohertz projects is that is the native sampling rate of all Acustica audio products. So if you record at 96 kilohertz, you're getting the most out of these plugins. Not that you can't use other sampling rates, because they do offer those in the full versions of their products, but the native sampling is done at 96 kilohertz, and then they resample with a software sample rate reduction program. Now that's one thing you need to be aware of with Acustica plugins, is that when you adjust the controls, it takes a second or two for it to change. And that's because behind the scenes, all of the Nebula samples are being dropped out of RAM, and then the new ones are being put into RAM. So it's not like your typical plugin that is all ones and zeros, although this is ones and zeros. This is basically like when you use a virtual instrument that uses different like wave samples. That's what it's doing. It's loading those samples into RAM. The other thing is I have my hardware buffer up, and I also have a buffer processing setting set to 200 milliseconds. I could actually change that. Yeah, let me change that. See, I have it at 400 right here, render ahead. So I can actually put that I don't know. Let's put it to 50. Let's see what happens. I had it at 400 before. Yeah, it's quicker. So let me just drop this down to 0. Actually, what I'll do is I'll disable it. And let's see if I can drop my buffer settings down as well to like, this is probably going to mess up my computer. I know that. I'll try 1024, but it probably won't do it. It'll probably give me a bunch of clicks and pops, because normally when I mix, it's done through ASIO, and I can set it to a lower buffer if I want to, but not for screen capture recordings. Well, my point was proven that indeed it gave me a bunch of problems for lowering the buffer, but you could see how I could quickly go through the controls faster than before. So I'm going to set it back to what it was. Okay. So far, I'm liking what I'm hearing. I mean, honestly, it just kind of sounds like a clean equalizer. Nothing wrong with that. But that's also going to, unless I'm hearing something better, what I'm looking for, which I'll talk about in a few minutes. But so far, I'm not really hearing anything too special. So I'm going to move on to the kick drum, which is actually what I was just talking about. What I'm looking for in this plugin is a trick that you can do with a kick drum where you attenuate, so you cut one of the frequencies and you boost the same frequency. So I'm going to do that at 60 hertz. I'm going to cut it and boost it at the same time. It's a Pultec trick that people love to do with kick drums. Now, it's been a while since I've done this, so I'm going to see if this even works, number one. So let's see. I'll be honest, I'm not hearing the magic. The magic of the normal tube Pultec when you apply it on kick drum. I'm not hearing it on this track. Maybe I'll hear it on the next track. I do have another kick drum track to try this out on. But so far, not so good. Alright, just to change things up a little bit, I'm going to do drum overheads. Hear what this can do on it without the pre-in. Alright, sounds good. I'm surprised it still sounds good with how hard I pushed it. Still sounds good with how hard I pushed it. And now I'm going to put it on the other drum track and pan this track. Let's try it out. There is a stereo imbalance for sure. Hold on. Okay, it sounds a little bit more even. So yeah, I like it. Let's do a before and after. All right, I might bring it down a little bit, like maybe like till 10. All right, again, I'm not really hearing that much of a special thing with this plugin. It sounds good, but just not. We'll see what happens with the kick drum. All right, with this next kick drum. So I'm going to enable the low and let's set it to 100. Hear what it can do. I'm not sure why that's happening. The control link is on and it should be working, but it's not. All right, well, it looks like I just discovered a bug, which I will be sending into Acustica. So apparently, control link on and cutting the low is making an imbalance issue. I'm not sure why. And we're doing this under the 44.1 kilohertz sampling rate. It's not letting me do control link now. Interesting. All right. I'm not sure why. Let me just reload the plugin and see if it works. All right. So far, so good. Let me just see if I can duplicate the bug. It's working fine now. Interesting. All right. Well, I'll keep doing 100 then. All right, well, with this kick drum, I was able to get a better sound. So I was able to reduce right around 100 hertz and also boost at 100 hertz to get a less muddy sound with punch. So that's a good thing. And finally, I have keyboards. Let's hear what I should do with this track. which, by the way, was recorded way too loud, as you can see by the Hornet auto gain. Actually, that changed. What happened? That shouldn't be 1. Whoa, hold on. No, I don't know what happened with this. This should be like -16 or something. Hold on. Okay, I have no idea why this changed. That is not good, man. I am having software issues today, but hey, you know, at least I noticed it right off the bat. All right, so white's going on, and I'm gonna go for, let's go for, let me listen to it one more time. I actually could use a low end cut, so let me do that first. And we'll do, as I really don't want 120, I would prefer like right around 400, like maybe 250. And it's not doing anything because it's not enabled. LOL. All right, that's good enough. And then we'll do a boost. We'll try 2 at first. Okay. So, just made it where it would blend in with other tracks a lot better. You know, it's something that I like to do, thinning things out, making them a little bit brighter in their mid-range area where they stand out the best. So, the question is this plugin worth $160? And I don't think it is. You know, I think the biggest problem I have with it is that it is very limiting in what it can do. And obviously the argument can be made about the original Pultec, but I would say the same thing about that plugin as well, which is it's very limiting in what it can do. Now, what it can do, it does pretty darn well. Although I think the original tube hardware Pultec, well, in this case, the purple plugin from Acustica Audio, would be a better buy, along with the mid-range MEQ, whatever that one's called, the purple MQ or whatever it's called. That would be the better buy, that package. But This one does allow you to cut and boost at different frequencies, and it has the mid-side control. So it's kind of a toss-up. I personally will not be buying this plugin, but you might like it. I mean, it's not a bad sound. It's just that, again, I don't think it's versatile enough to be a mastering EQ. And for track equalization, I have other options. For mastering, I would prefer something like Magenta or Ivory or Scarlet. So although I like this plugin, to me it's not worth $160 when you have more versatile options available. My suggestion to White Sound Mastering and to Acustica is that if they were to combine this plugin along with the MEQ5 that has more mid-range controls, that would make for one hell of a plugin. And make it so that it's solid state like this, because the solid state sound is pretty damn good. It definitely retains the original character of your track a lot better. It doesn't mess with that. But on the other hand, again, very limited on what you can do with it. And that's my biggest problem with it, is that it's got a low end and a high end. That's it. No in between. The in between is necessary, in my humble opinion, for mastering, and this doesn't have it. This has been Adam for RealHomeRecording.com.